SoundCloud.
I literally read it so many times. I'm reading it backwards now.
I think this is a good note for everybody out there.
He says that I don't pull well on TikTok, so
He doesn't. It's
videos
just a
with
fact.
me.
It just doesn't pull well. It's called social media for a reason, and it's not selfish media.
I just gotta clear something up. You weren't the 12th man on the field.
Right?
There is no easy way to get anything ever.
This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mornings with Matt on the Deering Acting Studio podcast. So grateful to have you today.
Yo.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, help us spread this light-driven content to the planet. Today, Joey, we got a big guest, bro.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked.
I am so stoked.
It's my type of episode, is all I'm gonna say.
That's
It's
right.
My type of episode.
So we got an up-and-coming football star, well, already a star, but now working his way toward the NFL. Mr. Josh Butler. I'm going to let you do his intro later after we get to our daily devotional. But since we want to talk to Josh so badly, why don't we go ahead and jump right into our daily devotional, Bri Guy?
Let's do it.
Hit it.
Okay, we are in Romans.
You disappeared again.
I did.
Yeah, it's okay.
Green screen. All right, Romans 12:2. Do not copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect.
Boom. So if I can connect this into today's episode, and I'm sure Josh will have some input on this, but the idea of no limits, I so believe that with my whole heart, that we as human beings really have no limits. And the reason I can say that is because of all the extraordinary human beings that have come before us and that live among us. Mm-hmm. You see somebody who has no arms, no legs, and they become like a powerhouse public speaker. Mm-hmm. We had a gentleman on the show who had no arms, no legs, and he was working toward becoming a powerhouse public speaker, but he climbed like one of the highest mountains in the world with no arms, no legs.
So crazy.
So crazy. You see some of the obstacles people have overcome. So it's like, you know, our guest today I'm sure has a certain stature that enabled him to perhaps compete athletically at a high level. But it's funny because that's no excuse for other people not making it, and it's no excuse for other people not like reaching their greatest potential within whatever they can do.
Yeah.
So what the Bible verse is saying here is, with God, we're limitless.
Yeah.
And we got to be careful to turn our thoughts toward the world, toward things and stuff, but instead focus on what is good and true and right, get our thought life under control, and from there's this limitless potential that we as human beings have because God is a part of who we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and then it will also, and it says there, he'll reveal his will for you specifically too. So if you're really listening, then he'll open doors and show you the right path. When you're not listening, then you're gonna end up walking down the wrong path.
Yeah. And he'll transform you, it says too, right?
Yeah.
So he's gonna, but here's the thing. The reason why there's so few people that really reach this extraordinary level is because it's really hard to listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
So what if God opened the door for you and he's like, hey, I'm opening the door and I'm telling you, you're supposed to be poor. You're supposed to be weak. You're supposed, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, why would God do that to me? And then you look at Mahatma Gandhi and you look at Mother Teresa and you're like, those are people who followed that exact call from God to be that way and then turned into extraordinary human beings that we all look up to and respect.
Yeah, totally.
So that's a great segue, because thinking of people that we look up to and respect, Joey Sweeney.
Yeah.
Would you please do like a nice, hyped up intro for our guest
you know
here?
it. You know it. I need a little soundtrack there.
Mr. Josh Butler, here we go. It's the only song we got, so.
All right, introducing
I like it.
Josh Butler.
Hey.
All right, give me some stats. Go through his
Former
bio a little bit.
quarterback from Michigan State University.
Cornerback, right? Corner. Got it.
AKA one of the hardest positions to play on the football field.
I respect the corner position. I really do.
And on top of that, he has created his own brand in entertainment called JBTV. You can check that out here.
JBTV. I like that.
JBTV, yeah. So you guys, Twitch here. He streams his gaming, which is super awesome. And then if you're a TikTok fan, he's got plenty of funny TikToks. Some of him dancing, some of him with his dogs. His dogs are extremely famous with him. Just super interesting dude. Super excited to have him on the show. He is amazing.
All right, let's bring him in.
Here we go.
Mr. Josh Butler to the show. What's up, my man?
How y'all doing?
Dude, happy to be alive. How you doing?
Doing great, man.
That's some smart placement right there. You already got your jersey right behind you from Michigan State.
I don't think that's a Michigan State
it?
jersey.
I can't
That's my
read it.
brother's jersey. He played at Boise State.
I saw State.
Good
I
job,
saw
Brad.
State.
Good job, Brad.
I mean-
It's all right, Josh. That just shows how much Brian knows about football.
I don't know jerseys. I
yeah.
really don't.
Yeah.
You don't know Jersey. Yeah, that's what it is. Josh, so this whole week we've been focused on thought life and the power of thought life and how it's, this world can get to you and negative thoughts can quickly take you into negativity and positive thoughts can take you into positivity, and life is going to happen. I discussed this a lot 2 days ago. Life is going to happen to all of us, but it's really how we react to it. As a man such as yourself, who is, I would say, successful where you are, and of course you're pushing to become more successful and to do more. What are your what's your take on this idea of thought life and the importance of it?
I mean, it's definitely something big for your mental health, especially in a certain position of what you can be in. For me, and for an example, I'll give you a really great example. When I was going through a lot of depression, especially through college, just having to battle with everything with both my parents passing away and then have to deal with their funeral. And it was all around the same time when finals was happening. So I literally had to finish everything before I even knew it. So I had to do all my finals and everything. I was struggling really bad.
Wow.
And
So I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar. I don't want to go too deep into this because I don't want to take you someplace that bring up old memories. But so both of your parents passed away while you were in college?
Yeah. My dad passed away in 2017 before the Penn State game, which is actually supposed to be my first starting game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was wild. So having to deal with that, and then not only that, having to go back home. It was also, like I said, it was also around finals and everything. So I was struggling with school, struggling with having to manage a funeral, and then like a year and a half later, my mom passed from breast cancer. So I had to redo the whole thing, and it was also around finals. So I was really struggling really bad in school. I do have like my transcript to where you can actually see, like I start off good and then it just goes like really bad with my grades, like really downhill. And then I was able to just like reach out and get help that I need, or have that motivation from my dogs or from my peers. And I increased that, and I ended up graduating with my master's with a 3.6 GPA. And my GPA was really, it to like at least I think like a 1.8. It was terrible. It was really terrible at one point because my mind, my mental, and my negative, it was like super negative and everything. I was just struggling. I'm struggling really bad, and I ended up getting that up, finishing my master's all within a year while I was playing football. Just being able to overcome that just by having like something positive in my life, like my dogs or people who was there supporting, stuff like that, and then just changed my whole mindset as well, and then being able to overcome and persevere through just about anything. So didn't make any excuses about it. You know, I cried about it.
Yeah.
Cried about it, and I just got to work with it. And my advisors asking me like, is it you know what I'm saying, too much? Do y'all need much time? I was just like, no, I can do it. You know, just believing in yourself that you can do whatever or overcome whatever, no matter how it is or how long it may take, but you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
And that's just mindset thing. It's definitely a huge mindset thing to be able to overcome that. And also don't be afraid to like reach out to people because it's always people willing to help you out. Like
that's what I was going to get to really quick, because, you know, we have a lot of kids that we train here, and specifically teenagers, and their mental health is very important to us. It's something that we focus on. And, you know, I think your story is one that's very inspiring and something where I very much appreciate your honesty here with you talking into it and kind of letting us know kind of where you were and how you got out of it. So when you say reaching out, like, was that a really hard thing to do, to reach out and you know, who'd you find? Was there something or someone or something that you were able to kind of, that could grab you and help pull you out of the darkness?
Yeah, actually, it was just like a couple of my teammates who was going through the same situations that I never even knew about. Like, and then like we would just sit there and talk about it, and it was more relatable because, you know, they're my same age, they're battling the same things. We're close as a team, and we would literally just sit there and talk about a lot of things that were on our mind that nobody else, you know what I'm saying, really knew about or talked about. And it was tough because most people, you know what I'm saying, you want to think, oh, I can do this, I can overcome this. I don't want to, you know, bother nobody. I don't want them to be in too much in my personal life, knowing that I'm struggling or something like that. And that's how it is. But to be able to relate to somebody else, especially like your same age or somebody who's experienced it way then, like, because a lot of people have heard my story, and it was people that I never even knew of, or they don't know me personally, but they reach out through like social media or something.
Yeah.
And their story. So it was just like, that became like just a global type of, I don't know, like a therapy session for everybody.
Sure. Well, there's something really powerful to the idea too of you saying the people that ended up helping you were these guys that were going through a similar situation and you didn't even know it, which means they were dealing with it and they were reaching out to other people in such a way that you might have even thought, like, I had no clue you were going through something so hard, and look at you operating at this super high level. Yeah, that is fascinating. So, curious here, where did faith come in all this?
Well, I've always pretty much had a really good faith background. It really increased after my mom passed, actually. And
did that test your faith, or it strengthened your faith?
Strengthened my faith, because it's a little deeper story to it. Like when she passed, like a few moments later, you know, the emergency people got there and they was doing CPR and everything, and she actually ended up coming back to life at that moment too. But she you know, she eventually passed. But just that, something like that, or just her, because she was, like I said, she had stage 4 breast cancer, and she was on hospice, meaning like she was barely able to speak, anything like that. So when we were saying like prayers and stuff for her, she was actually able to speak to us. So my faith from then just dramatically increased from there.
Did she have a part in that when she came back and was talking to you? Was she discussing with you the importance of faith?
Yeah, she's always pretty much been discussing it.
Yeah. Well, because here's what's interesting, and I go back to the kids here. There's a lot of kids who have been disrupted, and I'll just say you got disrupted in college. It's a huge, major disruption, and and good for you for getting through it. And it is hard. I mean, just life is hard. It's the way it is. But there's a lot of kids who got disrupted because of this coronavirus. They got thrown out of their school. Their whole life, whatever they thought was going to be, has been disrupted in a major, major way. And there's a lot of depression out there. It's just true. So what we're hearing here is we're hearing to reach out, but we're also hearing something which is in a time where it doesn't seem popular to have faith, to turn to God. It doesn't seem popular. I just want everyone to see here's a man right in front of you. He's literally got Jesus right behind him, right next to him. I'm going to steal your earrings. I like that look.
They're sick, dude.
They're so cool.
So cool.
And you know, because you're wearing those earrings, I felt like you gave me permission to ask you about faith. So that's another thing for us to remember, that it's okay to be who you are and to have your faith and to you know, express it in such a way that doesn't, it's not, you're not calling attention to yourself, you're not trying to throw it in people's faces, but you're also not ashamed of it either, because really you had people to reach out to, but you had God on your back, who's always got your back. Do you agree?
Agree. I definitely agree.
All right, so let's transition here really quick. I gotta say, the photo you sent over,
Oh,
so cool,
dude.
So cool.
All right, so which just led me to believe, just like the earrings, kind of, I see things and I see hints of things. You seem to be a guy that maybe knows a thing or two about branding and marketing and things like that. Is that true? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I actually got my master's degree in media and information. So not only just film, but also been able to study people in social media as well. So we learned a lot of the business side of the media marketing. And so so far, we've been able to, we had a Petco sponsorship for a year, and then just putting my name and brand out there, which is JBTV, which is pretty much just all type of entertainment, leading up from camera work, production, and filming. And that's what I do in editing. I've learned a few things from Adobe Premiere and Photoshop. Photoshop is very hard.
Yeah.
I agree with you on
dude.
that one. Yeah.
Very tough. And not just from there, and then we partner with Reveal Suits, and then we do a lot of things for TikTok for the companies who reach out to us. And so just being able to manage all of that stuff, and then just having a smart marketing tools, knowing what people want and knowing what people need from you. I use that knowledge to be able to have myself be a little bit more successful with everything.
And that was a jump you took, right? You didn't initially start there when you went to college, right?
No. I originally wanted to be a forensic scientist. Yeah. I was always into science and forensics. And when I got to college, the labs interfered with football practices. And it was pretty much every day too. It wasn't like, he might miss an hour or so practice. No, it was like every day. So I was like, you're gonna have to change your major. So like, what do you want to do? And I've always been doing stuff since like middle school, and I always called my name JBTV. And I was like, what do y'all have for like film and entertainment? And they told me to take the route of media and information. It'd be good for me. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just took off from there since.
So got a quick question for that. So you're right at that spot. Like, you were planning to go to college for forensic science, right? And then you get there and you kind of can't. And that's what made you kind of shift. But you had to choose between that and football. This is probably super simple question, but you had two things you loved. How'd you decide football? Like, was that something you'd already, like, when you were younger, you're like, this is something I'm going through all the way? Or like what made you decide that between the two things that you loved?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm from Texas, man. You know, we do football.
I thought so.
I love it.
There's no question right there. Yeah, I'm definitely choosing football over that.
Got it.
So,
okay.
All right, I've got a follow-up question. So what was it about forensics in particular that interested you? Because that's a subject that interests me quite a bit as well, and I'm curious as to your why.
It's just that I was always really big into science when I was in school, and Not only that, just being able to like watch Forensic Files or Dexter, just like shows like that really intrigued me. And so I wanted to learn more about it. And so I was like asking about it when I would get to science class. And at the time, we didn't really have those type of programs when I was in school. Everything kind of came in later after me, but I was always asking my science teacher a lot of, forensic type questions or lab type questions. And it was just always something I wanted to do. And I asked if it had it in like college or something. I was like, yeah, just look into like certain colleges. And I know at Michigan State at the time when I graduated, which was in 2014 out of high school, when I was looking into it, they was like number 4 in the nation for forensics. So I was like, okay, forensics and football is really good at this school right now. So you know what I'm saying? I took a visit and I really liked it. And
that sounds like a really good inspirational, motivational book, Forensics and Football.
Yeah.
Or like it's like a book every coach has to read. This new book, Forensics and Football. All right, so we're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about how this forensics and critical thinking and whatnot can apply to your life specifically, and we're gonna chat a little bit more here with Josh as soon as we get back from this very quick commercial break.
My experience with Phoenix casting has been pretty much legit. Like ever since I started like modeling and acting, I've been coming here.
If you're an actor in Arizona, you need to know about the Daring Acting Studio and you need to get here. They'll make you feel like you belong.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So I think it's great that you guys are continuing to innovate, not just resting back and saying, oh, this is just the way it is. And these days, because of virtual casting, some of these big projects that are on either coastline, now a lot of actors have the opportunities to at least submit.
It was so uplifting and encouraging, and it's such a refreshing sense to get as an actor, to be uplifted and encouraged and taught to do that to everybody that you're in a scene with.
We always recommend Daring Acting Studios just because we know how important it is to hone your skills and hone your talent and always be practicing. And it's like a sport, you have to go in and practice. You can't just jump into something and think you're going to be a star. So
what I learned about during this workshop is to be yourself and not to be afraid to be yourself and be authentic.
And that's one thing I gotta say about you guys, is you guys have been amazing. When our team submits, it's like you guys give us really a great selection at audition. And so I think that's great, and I appreciate the opportunities you give our talent.
Do yourself a favor, come down to Deering to Phoenix Casting. You won't regret it. These guys are great. So accommodating. It's a fun, lively, always a great time. So no stress, come down and knock it out of the park. Thanks guys, I appreciate it.
Your lives will all be changed and you'll grow if you really learn to listen in this way.
Will you help me kill her?
You have to react to that from his point of view as honestly as possible.
Punch him in the face.
No, you don't know nothing. Come on.
As soon as you've solved the puzzle, the scene's over.
Hey! Woo! Back to you, Matt.
All righty, welcome back, everybody. We are here with Josh Butler. We're discussing life, thought life, how to connect into a next level version of yourself here. So the reason I get fascinated with forensics myself, so it's interesting because it's not just science, it's the forensic science. And to me, the idea of forensics is all about critical thinking. That's what it is. It's the idea of being able to be given information, but not necessarily just agree with it blindly. But a forensics scientist is somebody who really wants to know the why and wants to make sure that the result that looks like the way that it is actually the way that it is. It's really about this like insane curiosity. The idea of, hey, I look at this, whether it be, you know, in those shows like a murder or in anything, you know, in anything that you look at the result of something and you're like, okay, on the surface, it looks like this is what happened. And I can say all signs point to this. However, I'm not going to just accept that. I'm going to forensically question everything about it to see, are the results and the way we got to the results, do they line up with how it happened? So the idea at the end of forensics is curiosity, is really asking why and trying to get curious about that. So you said something that didn't blow by me when you were talking about your media and branding and whatnot. You said you learned a lot about people. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, just pretty much learning the lifestyle or the ways that people are. So what people like, their span to anything. I know that in today's society, a lot of people enjoy content that is either very sad, something that you can talk about that'll make other people mad, or something that's like short and interesting, which is, you know, the span. Those, and then it's start to get like happiness or happy overcoming stories. So those specifically is what people enjoy the most, because it's something that everybody can talk about and always have their input or opinion about. So just doing that, doing like small studies on people and what they were able to have interest in was mostly negativity, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's just the way people are. And a lot of people have been able to figure that out and use that, because this is one thing about media. No matter what type of news it is, it's still news, and somebody's always talking about you. That's how a lot of people who have like drama shows or something that's always still successful, they always have something new that's coming up, or like, oh, so-and-so are splitting or breaking up because of this. And people are still interested in that, even though they're not doing much else with their life, but people are interested in it. And that's just how people are these days now, and just studying that. So you have to figure out what works for you. And for me, just being able to have positivity or something like that and being inspirational to other kids and stuff, that's my marketing brand. That's how I'm able to inspire other people. And then I also am very actively engaged with the actual fans and audience as well. So being able to like reach out to talk to some people, like some people like reach out and they're like, I would never expect you to respond. I'm like, why not? I'm a normal human being. Like, you know.
So interestingly though, so we're in the same arena. We're battling the same fight you are, which is exciting to me. And I want to forensically find out actually why everybody's so obsessed with negativity. And I wonder if it's just from conditioning, from time in the game, and that's what the most media is, so that's why we're so obsessed with it. I don't know, but you're like, okay, here's what people like when we spark extreme sadness, extreme anger, right? And then you're like, but my brand's positivity, and mine is too, which is opposite of really what should, like according to the stats, make it, right? And then I want to go forensically, and I want to backtrack, and I want to actually look at the algorithms that have been created by all these different media companies and go, okay, is this what people really like, or is this what you're putting in front of people? Because I'm also learning a little bit about marketing too, and I'm realizing how easy it is for these companies to turn up the volume on your videos and turn them down if you're just willing to pay them. So like if I give money, it's like all of a sudden I could get 100,000 views on something, but without giving the money, it's not there. And I'm like, okay, is it because the content is not great? Or is it because my algorithm or my content doesn't fit within their algorithm of what they want people to see? And again, like they can say this or that, but I don't know forensically what's actually true. So therefore, I mean, I'm not like here to get political. So we just push positivity. And so our take on this is we have a responsibility to create positive, light-driven content and almost like fight that negative tidal wave of media with something that's inspirational, something that's good, something that doesn't sit on the negativity. And that's why we do it in the morning. We want to help start people's day just like that.
Right. Yeah. So something like you can kind of encrypt both into it. So basically having something negative in there, but how to overcome that negativity. So something like that is also a different way to input into your show or something like that. So it's like you can get a certain situation that, I don't know, people can do testimonials or something like that, and then give how they was able to overcome it.
Yeah.
So it's, because that's the part of the inspiration. I mean, so you'll hear it and they're like, oh, that's a messed up situation. And then you tell about how you was able to battle that or overcome that. And then you really got people's attention, like, oh, I'm experiencing that same thing. And he's giving really good advice. So maybe I should listen to this type of thing. Yeah,
and I think people can hear truth too, right? I mean, when someone's speaking their honest truth and they're really like pouring that out, I think that resonates with people, and it's going to resonate more and more the more consistent you are over time. Agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's talk about, let's move in here as we wrap up the show. Just a little bit more about you. We got JBTV. What's your career and like, have you mapped out the next 5-10 years? Do you know kind of trajectory of what you'd like to see happen?
See, I remember they used to ask that a lot in high school, like what do you want to be and everything. My whole mindset and everything changed with that perspective while I was in college. I want to be able to achieve whatever is in front of me, to be honest. So just having my mind not limited to anything, just being able to, like, so far I've been able to become an actor, work in production, working towards the NFL, partnering with Petco, partnering with like Reveal Suits, or anything that I want to do, to be honest. Just working on movies, television shows, commercials, just not limiting myself to one thing. And if I want to run for president one day, you got to be 35 or something. Whenever I turn 35, then I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already got a lot of people that's gonna vote for me.
That's right. Hey, you can add 3 more right here to the list. We will help you out.
Just being able to accomplish just about anything I want to do in life. Just not limiting myself to one thing, but also being able to have those skills to do those as well. Like keep working on movies, keep working on acting, keep working on towards football. Just having all that stuff and just time managing everything within it. I'm just not settled to like, oh, I have to do this. Because when you do that, and it's like football doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? You don't always book stuff for acting. So it's always something you have to have. You have to have like a game plan with your mind, and your mind. My mind is to not limit myself to anything, because sometimes it may not work out. Then you sit there like, what to do next? And it's like, I don't know. So I'm like, all right, I know I'm gonna use my skills. So I know how to braid hair or something. So I'm just gonna be a cosmetologist. You know what I mean? Like something like that. It's just whatever that you have your mindset to, and not limiting your mind to what you want to specifically be stuck in for the next couple of years. Because if it doesn't work out, there's always something else you can always do when using your skills or your mind.
So I love what you're saying, because this is something I preach as well. And weirdly, when I was a kid, people would ask me the same question, like, what are you going to be? What do you want to do? My mom would be like, what do you want to do? And I was just say, I don't know, but I just know I'll be successful at it. That was my answer. And I kind of still feel that way. So I'm in the same boat as you. So what Josh is saying here, everybody, is he's saying that his goals are attached to gaining more skills, gaining more knowledge. And then with the knowledge, it opens up opportunity. And sometimes it's the exact thing you thought you wanted. Sometimes it's totally different, or even like way better than what you thought you wanted. And it's right there in front of you. So here we have an athlete, okay, who's got a modicum of celebrity, having worked his way through a major college, Michigan State, go Spartans. And he has that, and yet he wants to get into acting. What do you hear him doing? Gaining skills, interning, working on sets, finding a way to be a production assistant. I want to assist somebody who's better than me because I want to learn. The idea of gaining knowledge, this is how you grab your thoughts and you connect and you take yourself next level. I'm specifically interested too in so before we wrap, I can't stop the show without talking a little bit about football because Joey would hurt me if I didn't.
Yes.
So let's dig into a little bit of being a cornerback, because I believe this is, if not the hardest, one of the hardest positions on the field. And I know there's like the quarterback of the defense, and then there's the quarterback, and I get that they've got a lot of critical thinking to do. But the cornerback specifically, you are constantly having to deal with, you have to just like listen, think, react, like instantaneously. You've got to be faster, stronger, better, and yet and you don't know the route. The other guy knows where he's going. You have to like figure it out. And I'm sure a lot of this comes from like studying tape and comes from just like trying to understand before you get to the field how to win that battle. I would love to get into your mind a little bit, what it takes to prepare for a game at the pro level, at the highest level in college. What's the thought life to get prepared to go up against some of these unbelievable athletic receivers?
And an additional question on top of that: man, zone, or slot corner? What would you say you would define yourself as? Just curious in there.
He's limitless, but I'll let him answer.
No, I believe it, but like everybody has a strength, I feel like.
Sure.
Like where they feel most comfortable. So I was just curious.
All right. Yeah, so playing the corner position, just literally studying first, not only just the team. So you have to study literally the whole team. You have to study the way they align, what they're in. What you got to also study the field as well. Say if they just crossed the 50 and the ball is on the 35 or something, you have to know they're about to take a shot, a deep ball shot. That's universal. You have stuff that's called universals. You have stuff that people do from 20 to the 50 to like the 35, and then you within the red zone, and you have a lot of universals within those. And you also have to account for the down and distances, and then it gets deeper than that. So it depends if somebody is in the trips. This is their favorite play, what they like to do out of trips. You have to study literally all of that, including the person you may be going against the whole game. So you have to study what they like to do, what type of release they like to do, how strong is he, how fast is he, what type of catches he make. When he lines up like this, he's going to run this route. You have to study the field, the dimensions of the field. So I know from sideline to sideline, it's 53 and a third distances. And depending on what side the ball is, if the ball is in the boundary or something and the corner is lined up on the top of the numbers, you got a possibility of going in or out. Or if the ball is on the other opposite end and he's lined up in between the numbers and the hash, then you have to base or adjust your alignment off of him. So it's literally a lot of things you have to do and study in between games, and you really only have a week to do that. And not even a week. Sometimes it's like 4 days.
Yeah.
To do stuff.
And then this is the thing that a lot of people don't really understand about collegiate athletes is and you have to study. Like on top of all that, you play, you have 4 days, and there's an entire fan base that's like expecting you to operate at a really high level, and you got to study, and you still have to compete in the classroom, which is unbelievable what you guys do. I've got a lot of respect for collegiate athletes. All right, so let me get into. I know Joey's got that question for you, and the where you define yourself, but so answer that really quick, and then I got a couple personal questions because I want to go into the not personal, but I want to get into a little bit of the behind the scenes on the football field. So where do you define yourself?
Probably man.
Yeah, I knew it. Let's go.
We predominantly ran a lot of that at Michigan State in general anyway. So we did a lot of working on our skill sets at that. And then I have pretty long arms, especially for the corner position. So I've been able to just cut people off. And I just feel as though it's a lot easier for everybody if you just handle your man.
Yeah.
And sometimes you would get help over the top depending on what coverage we're in.
So
I could tell because the man corners, it's all like mind and physicality. So you're at the line and like you said, you're on one guy. You beat him at the line, you try to stop him off his route, and then you're running with him. And I was just like, he's definitely a man corner. But I wanted to hear him say it.
All right, so was there ever a receiver that was sort of like somebody that the two of you were kind of rivals? Like every time you were gonna play against each other, it was just like, we're gonna go at it the whole game. Is there anybody like that?
Not that I actually like knew. No, I feel like if we had to be rivals, we had to like really know each other. But I did not like Indiana at all. Their fast-paced offense.
Indiana?
Yeah. Hated the team, not just the person. There was a lot of fast-paced stuff, and man, I'm telling you, at corner, playing man and doing that consistently, it was tough. It was really tough. Them and I think our fastest game was Utah State. Oh my God! I don't know how many. I have no idea how many receivers they had on their team, because like every play it was a new fresh guy ready to run super fast, and then you running back like, oh my God, it's another dude. He's just making sure you're tired. He runs a 9, then that other guy comes in, and next thing you know, he break you off on a slant or something. You're like,
that's an interesting strategy. Just bring in fast guys until the corner is tired, and then bring in the guy that's really going to play. That's crazy.
Their offensive speed was just super fast, so it was hard to just adjust everybody. So it was tough for our whole team when we was going against Utah State. We was like, oh my God, we studied for it, because it was like our first game of the season. We studied for it. We're like, okay, this is how fast they go. This is how many seconds they do in between each snap. So you know what I'm saying. At practice, we're doing the most to stay in shape. Getting the game, it's like it's nothing is the same as the game.
So I just realized he played our Sun Devils.
Yeah,
so
he did.
Were you matched up on Ayuk or Nikhil ever?
I was matched up on Ayuk in 2019, and in 2018 I was matched up on who was it?
Darby,
Speedster,
yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dang.
Okay, so who was the toughest receiver you ever had to go up against? Like the hardest to guard.
Let's see. Opponent wise, I'll have to go with. There's been a lot of good people too. That's a really good question, because it's a lot of them we played against. But as far as like the guy from Illinois, number 9, I don't remember his exact name. He ended up jumping like a 43 or something.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask you next then too, which is interesting. Which is you study these guys, and you have to know the facts, and the fact of the matter might be that this guy I'm going up against can jump higher than me, or he may be slightly faster than me, and I don't know how fast you are. Maybe you're faster than everybody, but the idea being like he might be slightly faster, or slightly bigger, or slightly stronger. So based on the studying, you have to take that information and not be intimidated by it, but actually use the knowledge of what they're good at to predict what they might try to do to expose you, and then you have to do what you can to mitigate the risks. Can you help us understand that? Like there's like you were talking about this guy, he could jump so high, that creates challenges, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, especially at the corner position, because you're going backwards. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much anybody that's at DB, you're the only people on the field that go backwards. And you know what I'm saying? If you're running forward and somebody's able to jump, that you definitely gonna be able to jump higher running forward than running backwards and trying to jump.
Yeah.
So that's where all the skill sets and stuff as a DB come in, being able to cut them off on that route so they don't run as fast to build up enough to jump high.
Got it.
Like
so it's about cutting off the route. That makes sense.
And you mentioned, I'm just going to throw this out there, he did run a 4.4 at his pro day.
Hey.
Pretty good. That's really good. Really
that's
good.
Real good. That's about as fast as you can get.
So you guys, you probably do exercises then where you just practice jumping backwards, right?
Sometimes, yeah, and then that's where a lot of the other sports come into play. So if you're like a kid or something in high school, make sure you do other sports like basketball comes good, and track as well. So doing like field events and stuff like that. I pole vaulted, so I wish I would have did like high jump or long jump or something. That would have definitely increased my vertical and everything. But
so what did the pole vault teach you?
To not get stuck hitting the pole. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, here's what I would think, because here's like Joey said, you're a corner. You're on an island sometimes, right? And you're going up against the best of the best in the world collegiately. Okay. Pole vault. If you're a pole vaulter, you're learning fearlessness, is what I would say. You're taking your athletics. You're throwing a pole into the ground, sticking yourself to it, and shooting through the air. I mean, to me, that's
a little scary. Yeah. 100%,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the idea of even doing a flip for the first time until you feel it's scary. So I would imagine the first couple times going up on the pole vault must be a little bit terrifying, and then you overcome that sense of fear that most people might have. Am I wrong on that?
I mean, yeah, but me being a kid, we used to do a lot of dangerous stuff. It was like, it was definitely something different, but it was just like the motion of being able to actually lift yourself up on the pole. So that was probably the hardest part. So you got to use a lot of hips and legs and everything to project yourself over. So that learning that part, that took a lot. So me being able to project myself up, that didn't really scare me, but me being able to have a better style of doing it, it was tough.
Yeah.
So I was like trying not to hit the pole, which is probably the hardest thing to do, because you'll do it like, I have no idea how to do the motion of it. But then I kind of learned throughout middle school on how to actually pole vault.
Josh, do you live here locally? Where are you living right now?
Currently in LA.
Oh, you're in LA. Okay, cool. Well, if you're ever in Arizona, you got to stop by here. We'd love to hang out and have you take some classes here at the studio. Be our honor to have you here. We got to wrap the show here, everybody.
Can I throw something out real quick?
Yeah, hit it.
So I know, and one more time, one of the things he has for his following is check out his Twitch, where he does his video games. So are you Xbox? Is that what you do also?
Yeah, I'm on Xbox right now.
So what are like the chances that we get to see you and Joey do like a Madden and like take it down?
Like a one-on-one Madden?
Like a Twitch Madden. Is that something you would be willing to do? Because I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm interested in it.
Oh man!
All right, dang. Okay, cool.
Listen, I will accept the challenge. However, playing Madden against collegiate athletes is not easy, man. I'm gonna get whooped probably, because I love the game, but it's crazy how just the street knowledge of football and being at that next level turns your game up 100%. Like the first time I played Siebert, three touchdowns.
He was crushing you for a while.
He murdered me.
What about the last time you played Siebert?
Last time I played Siebert, I won.
Yeah, Joey's winning like crazy lately, so I'm just saying I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean I don't like losing streaks, but I'd have to learn your game first. But I'm so down.
Nice.
All right, that sounds fun. We got Josh Butler here, everybody. JBTV, obviously an inspiration, a wonderful human being. For all you pro scouts out there, I have to just mention this, right? The guy was never tongue-tied until I finally said, "Who's a receiver that intimidates you?" And he couldn't come up with an answer.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying we might want to make sure he makes it onto a roster here very soon. Thank you all for tuning in. We sure appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, help us spread this light-driven content to the planet. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.
Have a chippy day, everyone. Rough.